We've all been going through a lot of different moments in the last 20 days, and this is one of them, I'm quite sure. Um, like I said, I pulled away from APRI last night over a technical difference of the way we're approaching things, and that's what we're going to go into this and a couple other things. Um, um, Ted and I in the butcher shop came across a continuing problem that we're all having, or a lot of people are having. And some people don't take it that seriously. Some people treat it like it's well as a joke or whatever. But it is serious. It is serious, and it started with oh, people that come up with ideas. And there's nothing wrong with coming up with ideas, where you theorize about what may have happened and all this kind of stuff. But when people begin to state their ideas as uh, actual fact, and they're kind of like preachers, kind of like preachers. Like when you run across an atheist versus a creationist, um, the atheist will frequently try to cite actual facts, like dinosaur bones, and the creationists will frequently cite faith and faith alone. And some other people that run the conspiracy theory thing behave, and I use this word this morning in an article, behave like a cult. You must believe exactly what I say, exactly what I do, and if you don't, you will be banished into the outer darkness and never more return. And we get these long, detailed descriptions of what may happen to the country and indeed to the world over the next interim and everything. And it's laced with all of these terms like Illuminati, the New World Order, nanoparticle injections, and all this. Now let's be frank. We're going through a pandemic right now, and it is a real pandemic, and that's yet another conspiracy theory that there's no pandemic. It's not going on, and it's a way for the government to lock us into our homes and to forward this new world order that they think that they're going to get to take over the world. Okay. Well, I hate to rain on their parade, but we're putting bodies in food bank freezers right now in Texas, okay, and that's pretty real. That's just right down the road from here. We're really doing that. People are dying. And we have, the last count I thought was 3, but I heard there's a number 4 pharmacy company that's come up with a vaccine as of today. It's not as effective as the others that are in the high 90s. This is in the 70s to 80s. But the fact is, in short order, we will have a vaccine that will be available, and that vaccine will create some kind of herd immunity. In other words, as many people who are going to the gas station won't catch COVID-19. All right, and so when you don't have as many people catching it, then you don't have as many people sick, and this thing will start to disappear. Now, I'm not an idiot. I know that they've rushed these things through. I know that they've tested them to the best of their ability. I know all these things. What I will do, since I'm pretty well isolated here, I'm pretty well, I will watch, and they're probably going to give these things to people in nursing homes first. The answer is simple. You give them a month, you watch and see how the old people react, and then you gingerly, if you're not sick or you're not in any danger, don't worry. But if you feel like, well, I might get exposed, you gingerly make your way to get this injection, whatever it is. Uh, what I'm going to be fighting is uh, people being indoctrinated and told not to do something that's for their own good, or uh, being shouted down, frankly, when I come up with my own ideas. Here's my idea. It's my idea. There are, the theory that is kind of that's making the rounds right now is that there are these particles that are going to be inside the injection, and that's going to team up with your blood with aluminum or aluminum oxide or whatever, and in conjunction with the release of 5G, with 5G, um, you're going to have us turning into basic antennas, okay, and we were going to be under control and in connection with the government at that time. I want to see if y'all can see this. I don't know if you can or not. Okay. See that right there? It's backwards. But that right there is 5G. This is my cell phone. And I've had 5G for a full minute, to be honest with you. I use it all the time. Um, the fallacy to this theory is that since the human body has got blood all in it and it's always 90% iron or whatever, and it's a lot more conducted through radio signals or whatever than a little spot of aluminum that may be in your body, from which may or may not. If we were going to be antennas, we would already be there. Now, that's just scientific fact, okay? And that's just one of the theories. I'm just bringing that out. And people will actually refuse to take an injection even after it's deemed to be safe based on what they've heard on a radio or read in some article or whatever, thus endangering their own lives and possibly others, okay? But anyway, that's what we're going to start fighting. And what we're going to do is when I hear this stuff, or any of us hear this stuff, we're going to look into it and take it on, okay? There's certain things that I do not believe. I do not believe that a man called Bill Gates can form or run a new world order when he can't, he never could put together a good copy of Windows, okay? I don't believe that an old 90-year-old man called George Soros is doing the same thing. I do not believe that the election was rigged. I just don't believe it. That what the last 20 days have been horrendous to the American public, and it's making us lose faith in our democracy, and we don't need that. We just honestly don't need it. So that's the direction we're going. I spoke with people at the APRI that called today, and I said last night I was separated from APRI. Today I tentatively agreed that I would make spotlight appearances, but I'm going to appear as the antagonist. The thing that I was said about last night was the fact that a subject came up on the radio station, and they want to put in your own thoughts, put in what you believe, ask questions, and I simply asked a question during one of the questions that was asked. That, there's a theory out there now, and this comes from a quote unquote whistleblower somewhere. Okay, and that the government was going to give us all about $1,200 a month when we give up all our property and all our civil rights and everything, and that we would do what we were told as long as we got the money. Okay. Now, during the discussion was also agreed that at least, or said, that half of the brick and mortar stores are shut down. Huge unemployment, and going to be huger if they don't pass that motion before the 26th of December, and there'll be more unemployment and everything, so people won't be paying taxes. And my simple question was, well, if you've destroyed the entire economy and people can't work anymore and everything, and government lives on taxes and everything, where are they going to get the money to do that? And I immediately was picked down real fast. Well, they got billions of dollars offshore. Billions of dollars offshore. But it's the people that pay the taxes and make the money that provide the billions of dollars. Governments don't make a profit. A government is an expense. An army is an expense. And that's another thing we're going to go into, is soldiers will soon be marching in the streets, and they'll be knocking on your doors, and they will force you to take the inoculations, and they will do this, and they will do that, and they will do this over here. We are still a constitutional republic. I mean, that's just the way it is. This scare talk, and that's why we're doing these investigations now. This is scaring people to death. It's scaring people to death. People I've talked to on the East Coast are selling their homes to try to move to Canada. Terrified that the government's going to show up and take their home away from them if they don't do this or don't do that. It's not going to happen. And that's what we're going to go against. That's what we're going to attack, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and cut this short, and I'll put it up later because I'm tired tonight and I'm going to go back on the tube. I may or may not pop up on various radio stations now. APRI, I won't be there long. I'll answer a couple of simple questions, or I'll be cordial and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not really a member anymore, and I don't want to be a member anymore. I want to be a completely independent publisher and do my own thing. And look for me. If we can ever get the phones coordinated again down in Houston, I'll be back on Doc Green. We've had trouble over the last 3 weeks. So I'm going to be back on there, and you can catch me and Ted on Global and Pirate Network. and I believe I'm coming out of Vancouver. But basically, the reason I don't do that is they start at like 11 or 12 o'clock my time at night, and they want to go till 3. And as you can see, I'm almost under the weather right now from being tired. And by the way, I'm not drunk. Okay, I'm not drunk. Uh, this time I get up at 4 in the morning, and this time of night I start dragging. And I'm dragging right now. By 11 o'clock tonight, I'm not going to be worth a flip. That's what's really going on. Okay. Um, I don't like being called that. I'm not going to deny that I don't like to tip a glass every now and then, but I'm not a drunk. What I don't do is get shouted down, insulted, and sit up there and listen to deliberate falsehoods that are frightening people. I'm not going to do that. So that having been said, thank you very much. Sometime tomorrow I'll get up and I'll feel better and I'll render this out.